Well, hello. Today I want to consider with you this whole notion of professional mastery. Becoming the very best fundraisers, major gift fundraisers that we can be. Colin Powell, the former Secretary of State and retired four-star general, was quoted as saying, "There are no secrets to success. It's the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure." You'd think he would have said, it's the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from success. But he doesn't. Learning from failure. And when I think about my 20-some years in fundraising and most of that in major gift fundraising, without question, and unfortunately perhaps, I've learned a great deal from failures, from successes too, but oftentimes from failure. The ingredients preparation, hard work, learning from failure was an honest acknowledgement on Colin Powell's part, this extraordinary American leader and hero. And a reminder to all of us that it takes a certain humility, groundedness, to persist in our duties and responsibilities and to work to achieve the very best with our talents, with our time and energy for the betterment of all, the betterment of others. You know, I think about mastery. Mastery is something we pursue, we don't necessarily obtain. So we as fundraisers should set high goals for ourselves to become the very best fundraisers we possibly can be, to be dedicated to our craft, to becoming the very best. Why? For the good of our organizations and the good of our donors, and for our own personal satisfaction as well. Why set out to do something mediocre? Why set out to kind of get through a day, get through a week, get through a month, get through a year, get through a career to retirement? What fun is that? That does sound like drudgery. We should go get a different job. And that's how we approach fundraising. Because fundraising is meant to be exhilarating, fatiguing certainly, but exhilarating as we watch donors develop and organizations prosper because of the important, significant roles that we play, serving our organizations and working to find partnerships, powerful partnerships, transformational partnerships with donors. I think about a concert pianist. You know, a concert pianist has acquired a set of pieces that she has mastered. And when she goes on the stage and plays in front of a full hall and flawlessly executes a piece, the audience is mesmerized, enchanted, emotionally touched, elevated, exhausted right with the pianist, and cheers that pianist, that master pianist, wildly after the performance of a great piece or pieces. And yet for that very master of the piano, when she goes to the next piece that she has to learn, guess what? She's about Colin Powell's prescription for success. She starts preparing. She starts working hard. She starts working hours and hours and hours upon that new piece of music to master it, so that eventually, having learned from all the failures through her practice, she is able to play it flawlessly and then is able to take it to an audience and have that incredible experience of bringing an audience to a new experience of her piano playing a piece that just is transformational and touches hearts and minds and elevates spirits. Now, she could rest on her laurels and always go back to the repertoire, but what fun is that? No, she's motivated to continue to be the very best. And so piece by piece she pursues, mastering them, performing them, enjoying the energy that it releases in her and the energy it evokes among her audiences. I think in some respects, there's a corollary here, in that each donor we approach is someone unique. It's someone we have to get to know. We have to get to know them in their contemporary circumstances, what's preoccupying, what's pressuring them, what's challenging them today, what's going on in their lives today. That as we engage them on behalf of our organizations to become greater through possible contributions and involvement with our organization, perhaps once again, we do so sensitive to the fact that we don't know them fully, that we can't assume anything, and that we come to them with a certain deference and humility as we bring our skills to bear on behalf of our organization and truly on behalf of the donor too. So in one way, while we pursue mastery, we're always students. We're always learning to improve our craft. We can develop our competency and become quite expert in areas of fundraising matters. And with that time and practice and engagement, we grow in a quiet, humble confidence from the collective experiences we've had. And when we add to that a deepening character that we grow into over time, we become a powerful force of service to others, of service to our organizations, and of service to donors. One of a practice I have had, and I certainly recommend to you, and I've been doing this for years, is as I prepare for a fundraising call, I'll most often sit down with one of our fundraisers, even my assistant on occasion, and talk about what I'm thinking I want to do next with this particular donor or prospective donor. And I'll engage in conversation. Sometimes I'll even talk about the language I want to use around the specific solicitation, if the next visit will be a solicitation visit. Sometimes I'll call upon one of my folks and I'll say, you know what, I'm stymied. Actually, I don't know what to do next. This is what's happened in the last several calls. I feel like I'm not sure exactly how to push this relationship forward in a way that will benefit both our organization and our donor. Do you have any ideas? And in that conversation, oftentimes I'm inspired by what they say, or a thought occurs to me during the conversation, which helps me prepare to go forth and execute a call more successfully. Also, when I come back from a call, I record it so that I can refer to it and others can refer to it in the future. But I'll most often also sit down with one of our fundraisers, and likewise, I'll share about how it went. If it went marvelously well, I'll tell them that. But if I made a mistake, perhaps a mistake in judgment, if I said something too prematurely, if I wasn't listening carefully because I was preoccupied about what I wanted to accomplish, and I missed, in hindsight, an important signal or comment from the donor, I'll come back and share the mistake in judgment or whatever it might be as well. I do this because by confessing, if you will, what didn't go well, it's a way of reinforcing to myself, I don't want to make that mistake again. But also in sharing it with my fellow fundraiser or fundraisers, hopefully they're learning from my errors too, and avoid making that error or errors when they go on their future calls. If we see ourselves as a learning community, learning together, trying to achieve mastery in our professions together we can. Together we can approach mastery and be that much more catalytic in our encounters with our donors on behalf of our organizations. So success is not an easy road. We don't want to set modest goals, low goals, easily achieved goals. We need to set ambitious goals. Now, we want them to be achievable goals. We have to believe that they are. But we should set ambitious goals and work with our hearts and gather those around us to help us, to join with us and work wholeheartedly to accomplish those goals, again, for the good of the organizations we serve and their missions, and also the donors with whom we work. Let's set ambitious goals for ourselves to become the very best fundraisers we can. And let's set ambitious goals with our organizations to achieve the greatest outcomes that we possibly can. so that the world is built up into a better place because we've been in it doing this kind of work. Let's pursue mastery together as fundraisers, wholeheartedly. Let's pursue it through the good times and the bad times. As I say, it's a roller coaster ride. There's great highs, but there's a lot of lows, twists and turns, and what's unexpected. And through that process of rocking and rolling, going through that incredible set of experiences, sure, they take their toll, but they also give us incredibly gratifying experiences along the way. And we watch our organizations become better for it, and we watch donors become greater people and better for it too. I'm wondering what you would think about these comments. I would encourage you to consider going to the forum and share your thoughts, your stories, your insights. I would certainly like to learn from you and learn from all those who find this somewhat helpful or stimulating as you undertake your journeys to become a better fundraiser as I'm undertaking mine. Thank you so much for viewing and for listening.